So what's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Dalek JD, and in this video I'm going to be giving you a super high detailed breakdown of everything you need to know and what I learned from my hands-on time at CoD XP playing Infinite Warfare's zombies in Spaceland. I have a ton of things I want to talk to you, and this is going to take quite a while. I'm going to go through so much detail, so when you come to play it, you're going to know a lot. And this also gives you a very good overview of what to expect when you get your hands on it, and any misconceptions you might have so far about potentially how bad it's going to be, because it really isn't a bad zombies mode at all. It's in fact looking to be very, very good, and hopefully by the end of the video you seem to have a better idea. But let's get into it. So as soon as you get into the lobby of the game, before you've even loaded into the map, you're presented with a background of a empty, quiet, dark theater room. There is a projector that's projecting a film of some cartoon boxes, and they have icons of mule kick, blue bolts, as well as another perk. They've got eyes. They're simply jumping around, like just walking on the spot, and it's just constantly playing. And then as you load the map in, it fades from black and it says somewhere in the 1980s with a time of 12:30 at night, and it starts in this very, very small room. And in there you've got the classic quick revive machine, which is now called Up and Atoms, which costs 1,500 points, just like it would do normally. And you are introduced by Willard Wyler, this crazy movie director, who's explaining how you have to get into your places. And then the first round starts, which are now called scenes. So this is scene 1. Now, in the room, you have two weapons that you can purchase. One is an M1 and the other is a pistol. Now, this pistol is extremely strong in the lower rounds and reminds me a lot of the RK5. Now, it doesn't have that 3-round burst that the RK5 pistol has, but it is really, really good. And each player has their own specific melee animation. Now, this doesn't affect the damage at all. It's just different melee animations, which I think is a nice little neat touch that adds some personalization to each character. One of them simply slaps the zombies with their hands. Another, as soon as they spawn in, they crack a glass bottle and they use that bottle to hit the zombies. Another simply punches the zombies, and another one, and the Valley Girl character, has a spoon. So when she melees, it's like as if she's punching, but you can see this like little wooden spoon just coming out the side of her hand, which is pretty weird. But the spawn room is quite small, and what you have to do is you have to turn on a generator in one of these little huts in order to remove a sort of barricade for you to open and actually get into the space park itself. So that costs 750 points. Once you open that, you're presented with this large sort of main hub area. We have a bunch of empty shops. There's also an ATM machine where you can put points in as well as take points out. And you're presented with this massive portal in the middle of the main hub. And we'll get into that a little bit later into the commentary. But then you have different areas to open on the left and right side, as well as the area in front of you if you go further straight up. So on the right is the Kepler system, on the left is Journey into Space, and on the forwards going up towards the top of the map is the Triton Area, which houses the Polar Peak roller coaster ride. Now, dotted around the map are these machines called Souvenir Stations, and every so often a zombie will drop a souvenir coin. And what you do is each coin has a specific design on it, and so you can get one which has an alien design on it. There's one where you can get a helmet design, and the last one is a Yeti, and each of these affects the outcome of what you can get from the souvenir station. So collecting 3 coins in total will give you a random item. Now, if you have 2 alien coins and then a random 3rd coin, you will be given the boom box out of the souvenir station, which works as the monkey bombs in this sort of mode. Now you throw it down and the boom box attracts these zombies and they start breakdancing. Now I feel that you need to get a max ammo in order to replenish this, because I got it once out the souvenir station. I only had one use of it and then I couldn't use it again. If you have 2 helmet coins and then a further random coin, you'll get yourself a turret. I didn't manage to get it in my time of playing. And the final one is if you get 2 Yeti coins, then a random 3rd coin, you'll get a laser window trap. So if you go up to a zombie window, you can literally put down this weird laser trap where lasers will cover the window. So any zombies that come out of that will instantly get fried. Like I mentioned, these souvenir stations are dotted all over the map in loads of different areas, so it's not specific to just the main hub. But the main hub is where you find the first one, and next to that souvenir station, you see some little drawings on the wall which tells you the different combinations that you can make. And I feel when we get the main game, we will be able to get even more combinations, because what I don't think a lot of people have said from Call of Duty XP and playing is the fact that the map is a very large map, but it's not the entire map that we're going to be expecting on launch. We heard it from the director himself. There is lots of areas that are locked off, and there is a ton of things that has been taken out that we are not seeing. And when we play the main thing, there's going to be so many things that are going to be apparent to us which you don't see in the little demo. And we only got 15 minutes of playtime before the game randomly ends, so we couldn't get everything open and explore everywhere, so that's why we had to play so many times over. Now within this main hub as well, there is a robot with its head missing, and if you go towards Polar Peak, there's going to be a robot head that you can pick up, and when you pick this up, you see a little inventory on your heads up display in the top left, where you see you've picked up one of 3 parts. So buildables are going to be quite heavily present within Zombies in Spaceland, and it seems at the moment that you can get more parts for this robot with just the head anyway. It's called Neil, and it's spelled N3 1L. You pop that head on the robot, suddenly the robot comes alive and it will start issuing you some challenges to do. Now this is very similar to maybe perhaps to what it is in Black Ops 3 Zombies with the little gravestone challenges, but these are going to be random challenges for you to complete. If you manage to do all the challenges that it assigns you without failing them, from what I've been told, the robot will upgrade itself to become a military robot which will go and kill zombies for you, which is awesome. And there seems to be more parts around the map, perhaps in the main actual version of the map, where you can upgrade the robot as well. Now as for drops and different power-ups within there, we literally have everything that you've come to expect from the normal drops in normal Zombies. We had an insta-kill, we had a fire sale, we had a nuke, we had a carpenter, and the nuke is very, very different actually to what we've had before. Like, it works exactly the same, but this literally launches like a nuclear blast, which completely like smokes up the entire map for quite a while. The effect itself looks really, really cool. We had some brand new drops as well, such as infinite ammo, which gives you infinite ammo for 30 seconds, and rather than it being double points, it's called double cash. Now out of the main playable areas outside the hub, we'll start first with the Triton Area, which houses the Polar Peak roller coaster. So you open it up and the door actually costs 4,000 points. Any area that you want to open costs 4,000 points in total, but you buy it by spending 1,000 points at a time. So the idea of all the team putting in points to open a door together, that's what they mean by it. So you pop in 1,000 points at a time, and when you have 4,000 points put into it, the barrier will become open and you can go inside to each area. So starting with the Triton area, you run up some stairs and you go up through a staircase and you enter this sort of mini gift shop where there's a ton of different memorabilia for you to buy, as well as another souvenir station and some weapons for you to pick up as well. And it leads all the way up to this ride called Polar Peak. Now the way you activate this, of course, is again by powering on the generator in the associated area, and you need to put on power to every area in the park to use everything within it. So say if the magic wheel is there, if the power's not on in that area, then you can't use the magic wheel, you can't buy any of the perks, and you can't use the rides. So when you go onto the Polar Peak roller coaster, which we see within the reveal trailer, you're given an M1 with infinite ammo, and what the aim is to shoot as many targets as possible. Now during this, you're going to get a special type of zombie called clown zombies, which run at you and explode on impact, so you want to make sure you take those out. But the idea is to try and shoot as many targets as possible, because not only is there the points currency system, but another really important system is the ticket system. So through completing challenges from the Neil robot, as well as doing stuff as in playing games in the arcade and riding the roller coaster and shooting the targets, you'll earn yourself tickets. And with these tickets, you can go up to random little stations around the map and you can buy certain weapons and items using your tickets. An example of this could be a teleportation grenade, which costs 50 tickets. You exchange those tickets and you get given the grenades as your special grenades. You throw down this teleportation grenade and it will literally teleport you to the main hub of the map, something that can be quite useful. Another thing I got as well was a rewind grenade, which essentially works like the time bomb from Buried, where you, rather than you throwing it down, if there's a point where you want to rewind, you just simply throw down the grenade and you'll rewind around about 10 seconds or so from where your player was literally stood, which I thought was a very, very cool addition. Now, the biggest thing that was discovered using tickets was the freeze gun, which we saw within the trailer. That costs a total of 500 tickets, and you can buy that from the Zombies arcade. It's literally sat there on a table, you exchange it over those tickets, and you get given the freeze gun. Now, Liam for the Winter was the person that I saw to do this, so shout out to Liam. And the way this gun works is it looks a bit like the jet gun from Transit, but it works so much better than that. So it has a left trigger and right trigger ability. Using the right trigger, that freezes the zombies in place, and the left trigger shoots out a blast. Now, the blast is useless unless the zombies have been frozen before though. So what you do is you freeze the zombies, then you use the left trigger to blast the zombies away, and they get literally obliterated. Now, what's great about this weapon is it has infinite ammo. It just works on a cooldown timer, so you need to wait a little while holding the gun out in order for that to recharge for you to use again. Now, speaking of weapons, we also managed to get to the magic wheel, which is always situated by the Polar Peak roller coaster. Now, this costs 950 points, just like it always has in Zombies. And the thing that I will say is the magic wheel animation lasts a considerably longer duration of time than the normal mystery box. Like, you'll open it and it will spin for around about 5 seconds, but this magic wheel spins for absolutely ages. And I hope that when we actually get to play this map when it comes out in November, they change that a little bit, because it just seems very time consuming sitting there waiting for your weapon to come out from this wheel. But there's a lot of weapons in there. Some ones that stood out to me was I got an axe, which was a massive melee weapon which instantly killed the zombies, and it seemed to never really not instantly kill the zombies. Although we only got to about round 10 because of the time limit, so I can't confirm if it's always going to be a one-hit kill, but I only got 20 points a kill from the zombies, so it's not a very practical weapon for getting points, but if you're just trying to go through the rounds, then that is a suitable weapon. And I also got myself a massive LMG, which was very, very useful, had tons of ammo, and is useful. Now, there's a lot of drops in this map. Now, it seems to be sort of random that sometimes the zombies will drop ammo clips for you to pick up, and other times they will drop random grenades. Like I mentioned, the teleportation grenades. They'll also drop these flaming tomahawks that if you throw at the zombies, they will instantly blow up. There's just a ton of really random but awesome little pickups for you guys to get as you play. Now, as we're talking about random equipment that I used, another thing that I managed to create from the Souvenir Station was these candy sprinkles. So I took this out, and it's like my guy's got a little box. He sprays the candy on the floor, and when zombies walk over the candy, you simply shoot, and that ignites the candy and it blows up. Doesn't seem like a very practical weapon in the long run, but there's just a lot of really cool things. As for perks, the way you use the perks is it's not a perk bottle that you drink, but rather it's like a sort of chocolate bar or candy bar that your character simply eats and then gets given the perk icon. Now, the perk icons are a lot smaller than they usually are in Black Ops Zombies. It's a very, very tiny icon that's in the bottom middle of the screen, and I only managed to get myself around about 2 perks. There was more perks that we could see in the map for us to buy, but the areas were locked off and were unplayable areas, so I couldn't get my hands on all of them. Now, talking back to the zombies, there is literally loads and loads of different looking zombies. The amount of different zombie models that Infinity Ward have created for this is quite impressive. And on round 6, rather than it be a dog round, it's now the clown zombies round. So you get the clown zombies whenever you take that Polar Peak roller coaster ride, but on round 6, and I guess every so often, rather than a dog round, it'll be a clown round where these clowns literally spawn out of nowhere and they run and charge at you, and if you don't kill them or you kill them super close to you, you will inflict damage upon yourself, explosive damage, and you will go down if you don't take these clowns out quick enough. Now, we were playing 4 players and there was a load of clown zombies. It took an absolute age to kill all of these clown zombies, but once you do kill them, you do get given, of course, the max ammo power up. Now, I spoke at the start about the portal in the middle of the main hub, and I'll go and explain that now. So around the map, in each area, there is a little mini portal that if you activate will take you back to the main hub area. So it's like a super quick teleportation to get back to the main hub if you need to go back there for any reason. But like I mentioned, each area of the park has its own power generator which you need to find and turn on. Now, from what I learned from my time playing, if you activate all of the generators and get all the power on in the park, that will power on the main portal in the middle of the map and will take you out of the film and into the Pack-a-Punch room. Now, in the build we played, Infinity Ward played a little troll on us, and when you get to that room, you physically can't Pack-a-Punch. It simply tells you that Pack-a-Punch is coming November 4th when you get your hands on the game, so that's a massive troll, but at least now we know how exactly to get Pack-a-Punch. But sadly, we don't know what the abilities are like when you Pack-a-Punch, what the machine looks like if you can Pack-a-Punch more than once like you can in Black Ops 3, so we'll just have to see. Now, we've spoken a little bit about perks, but we also have the new Fate and Fortune card system, which is essentially the Gobblegum version of Infinity Ward Zombies. Now, what this works as is in the actual game when we get it in November, you start off by only taking in 3 cards, but as you unlock through the progression system, you will unlock the chance to have 4 cards and then 5 cards within the game. But as this was a public build, we got all 5 cards in the game, and most of the abilities were ones we've seen before in Black Ops 3, such as Burned Out. There was another one called Molasses, which was an image of a turtle, which simply brings the zombies back down to a very slow speed, just like Undead Man walking. There were some other interesting ones as well, which gave you a railgun with infinite ammo for 30 seconds. And there's another one where when you activated it, any zombies you shot in the head would literally insta-kill them, which could be very useful for doing for doing stuff in like the high rounds. And once you've used all these cards up, if you want to get them again, you have to go over to a Fate and Fortune teller machine for 5,000 points, and they'll give you your cards back. Now, the thing that I really like about the Fate and Fortune card system instead of Black Ops 3's Gobblegum is the fact you can have multiple of these abilities activated at the same time. With a Gobblegum, you can only have one active at a time, but with this, you can have all 5 of them activated at once if you really wanted to. Now, as you guys probably already know, there is a heavy emphasis on the 80s theme and especially the soundtrack in this game. So as you play, there'll be random tracks being mixed by the DJ David Hasselhoff in the park, and that appears on screen every so often to show you the song and the artist that's playing. And you can physically find David Hasselhoff within the map. You can talk to him, and talking to him will change the song. Now, that's just what's happened in the build that we played, but in the full release of the game, when we get this map, when you talk to him, he will offer you some sort of Easter eggs to do and will give you parts and steps onto getting things. Now, we heard from the director himself, there is going to be a ton of Easter eggs within the full release of the map, and stuff that we aren't seeing will be very, very obvious when we play the full game. And there's tons of side Easter eggs as well as the main Easter egg to build some really cool weapons. And he reckons that the Easter egg, the main Easter egg for this map, is going to take even longer than the Shadows of Evil Easter egg. Now, that is a very, very bold statement to make, and it'll be interesting to see if that follows through when we get to play this properly in November. But now let's move on to the things that I liked and didn't like about Zombies in Spaceland. Let's start with the things that I like. I like the fact that it's very light-hearted and it's very easy on the player. Now, this could be a very good thing or a very bad thing, because when you die out, of course, and you bleed out completely, you get taken to the Afterlife arcade, where you have a soul meter on the bottom, and it gives you plenty of time to play all these different arcade games and win at them to fill up your soul meter. And once you've filled that up, you get given a revive token that brings you straight back into the game. Now, some people could see this as a very good thing, but some people would say this is too noob friendly. And the response from Lee Ross to that is that there's only a certain amount of times before you can go into that arcade and be revived and come back into the game. Now, we have no idea how many uses that is, but I'm sure it won't be an infinite amount of times that you can go in there and come straight back out again, back alive. I felt that this was literally like a blend of Black Ops 3 with like Infinity Ward's own twist on things. It felt super good. There wasn't really much there in the way of complaints. The fact that this is a big map, and the fact that if everyone is spaced out in different areas and there's only one zombie left, it's going to take you an absolute age to find these last final zombies. I'm a little bit worried about the depth of the storyline that they're going to go with this. We have the idea of the director Willard Wyler, which is watching over the entire film and directing these random characters which have been thrown into play as characters, and it'd be weird to see where they go forward. They could literally go anywhere with this idea, but the idea of the story being something which is going to have a lifespan and longevity is something which I'm a little worried about. I feel the gameplay as a whole is very, very strong and does have some longevity to it. I feel it's super fun to play, which is a great thing, but I'm not sure if it's going to be something we're going to be playing maybe like 4 months down the line of it coming out. It's really too early to say if it's going to have something like that. And like I mentioned earlier about the sort of difficulty, I feel like it is a lot easier than Treyarch Zombies. It might get more harder as things go on, but I really do hope that there's going to be a skill level that we're going to have to reach to really enjoy and get the most out of this mode. I really like the 80s theme. I love the idea of the zombies, like Spaceland theme park itself. The amount of different traps that are available to use that involve all of the different rides and attractions itself is really, really creative. And I'm super, super surprised at the level of detail within this map. Literally looking through windows and looking at the ground and in different areas, there is so much detail that's been paid to making sure that this experience is great, and the fact that this is going to hopefully last quite a long time for us as we explore and learn even more. We even pointed out there's a load of balloons around the map that when you shoot explode, and we're hoping that that's got some sort of small Easter egg tied to it, but we'll just have to find out when the full thing comes out. But the lighting is great, the colors are great as well, the sounds are really good as well. I love the 80s music. I just hope that it's got a lifespan that will last for a considerably long time. But the thing that's hard to talk about it is you really need to play it in order to experience everything that I've said. It's all well and good hearing it and seeing the footage from the trailers, but it's the sort of thing where you need to play it to really get the full gist of what's going on. Now, sadly, we weren't allowed to capture any gameplay. Hopefully there'll be a time before release where we can capture. That way we can show you guys some gameplay and get your thoughts and direct input on what you think rather than just hearing it from us. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this in-depth video looking at some of the details within the map, how to do certain things, and my overall thoughts and impressions. I want to thank Activision for providing with the travel and access to CoD XP in order to make you this video. I've not been paid in any way to say anything good nor bad about the game. This is just my opinions and this detailed breakdown of everything within the map. But if you enjoyed the video, drop a like rating. I really would appreciate that. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I'll catch you another one very, very soon.